Military whistleblower UFO wreckage recovered by the U.S. kept classified by a secret government program for decades. Welcome to Elizabeth Vargas Reports, earning your trust every night.
Earning your trust every night.
UFOs exist. The U.S. government found quite a number of them, and they are indeed of non-human origin. Those are the explosive allegations from a former intelligence officer tonight in a whistleblower complaint that the Inspector General is taking very seriously. This report is the first evidence it might be true.
You are one of the most trusted former intelligence officials in the U.S. defense and intelligence establishment.
Yes, I was.
You were trusted with the most intimate secrets.
Yes.
Grush sitting down with award-winning investigative journalist Ross Coulthart. He's reporting for News Nation and has spent years reporting on the UFO question.
What conclusion did you come to at the end of your time on the UAP task force?
The UAP task force was refused access to a broad crash retrieval program.
When you say crash retrieval, what do you mean?
These are retrieving non-human origin technical vehicles, call it spacecraft if you will, non-human, exotic origin vehicles that have either landed or crashed.
We have spacecraft from another species.
We do, yeah.
How many?
Quite a number.
You're kidding.
No.
Quickly on this next one, Congressman, the House Oversight Committee will hold a UFO hearing after a military whistleblower claims there is extraterrestrial life. You are leading the investigation in 15 seconds. Will we get answers as to whether or not we're alone?
We're not alone, and we'll get some answers. And I talked to that man yesterday, and I'm hoping that he'll be hearing as well. But we've been planning this for quite some time.
Wow. He did it in 10 seconds, and now I'm utterly terrified.
Wait a minute. How long did you guys say you've been planning this stuff again?
But we've been planning this for quite some time.
Wow. That's what I thought he said. We've been planning this for a long time. These guys can't help but tell the truth. You can see the grins on their face. They can't even hide the smile. This stuff has been in the works for a while. And I believe it was about 5 years ago when we first brought this up or came across this, that there's a deception coming. And people always go down in the comments, like a year later and say, nothing's happened. And they've just been kind of gradually letting this stuff happen, letting information leak from the Pentagon and, make everybody who believes in this stuff seem like conspiracy theorists. But this stuff is real. Not the aliens, they're demons, but this stuff is real. This deception is real. And so if you haven't seen the final card that my brother made, it's a video that covers everything, the origin of this lie, and how it's going to play out. And so it's going to be far better than a lot of us could imagine with the amount of time they've put into planning this thing, the technology we have now. It all makes a difference. And so there are some grand illusions coming. And how can you get all of the people in the world to stop believing in a creator? We'll bring out technology they've never seen, and these ancient aliens that they are going to believe built the pyramids and did all of these things, because people don't know true biblical history and all of the information about the unclean spirits, what they're capable of, and how they really control things, because they're the ones, when we say who they are and the people that lie, why they lie, a lot of it has to do with these powers of darkness that have wisdom from their fathers that were the fallen. And so you see things really coming back to the way they were in the days of Noah. And so I'm going to look at some evidence of the deception with the current stuff going on. For those of you like me who don't watch the news, I found this stuff out because truthers are always sharing things and it just gets brought to your attention. And so the news clips that we just saw, that was one of them. But there was an incident out in Vegas where I guess many people saw a light fall from the sky. It happened to just so happen, to get caught on a police cam. And these things happen. We have cameras everywhere. So the camera captured a light falling from the sky and you can hear the boom. And then there's a 911 call and that's on the news. And this happened, I think it was like May 1st when this stuff all went down. And so the young man that called 911 and reports this being, this alien-like being, this typical, 8 to 10 foot tall being with massive eyes and all of that, and with everybody in the world having a cell phone at their hands and then these people allegedly staring at it. None of them filmed it or took a picture of it. But those things happen when you're freaked out. Sometimes you don't think, hey, let me record this. They should have. They had enough time to call 911 while they were looking at it. But we're going to listen to this kid's story and look at some inconsistencies, or at least one that I think shows you that this kid is reading a script and he's somewhat acting. He's nervous. You can tell he's nervous. I mean, he's young. It would be hard getting in front of a camera at that age. It's even hard sometimes at my age doing that. But look at his mannerisms from a detective standpoint, just to see if he's telling the whole truth. And I think it's extremely telling when you start making little observations. So I'm going to share my screen here and look at what this young man says, because first of all, he's wearing a Simpsons hoodie. We all know the Simpsons always predict the future because the people that are writing it are obviously a part of the same secret societies that are planning all these surprise parties for us. That's why they keep it secrets. You know, it's for our good. But they got the Simpsons on there with the black and white checkers, and it could be a coincidence. I don't want to label this kid as some, you know, Illuminati puppet or anything. He could be some good, wholesome child and really actually saw something demonic and thought it was an alien, because that's what we've been taught aliens look like and been programmed to believe they look like. But here's this young boy, and again, he could be honest, but I want to see if there's any holes in his story. He's retelling the events of what happened to him when he was working on his truck that night. So let's listen to what he has to say. Okay, so he's scrolling up, it looks like, on a phone. Maybe he has some sort of script. Every now and again he'll scroll up like he's reading, and he could have pre-typed it, you know, to help him retell his story, but just interesting that he's doing that.
So this is what happened to me. Keep in mind, this is midnight and I'm fixing a truck in my backyard. At this point, I'm only with my brother and I hear something fall from the sky. I turn around. The only thing I see is a big light falling from the sky, and moments after, I feel a big impact and a bang, sort of like a big impact fall. And me and my brother looked at each other and we were scared, but when that impact happened, it was sort of like a shockwave, like an out-of-body experience. So to say, when I tried to look at the object, it was all blurry, not my vision, but only the backyard area. And I hear thousands of footsteps around me and maybe a couple seconds.
Okay, I didn't catch that the first time. He heard thousands of footsteps around him. We are legion. We are many. Thousands of footsteps. I'm sorry, that was a detail I didn't catch. So everything looks blurry and he heard thousands of footsteps. Okay, sorry. New observation. I don't know why I didn't catch that the first time.
Seconds later, the blurriness was gone. And here's the footage of the body, the police officer's body cam. And here's the object I'm referring to, the light. Video. Here's a Ring camera video. You can hear the bang. This is around the neighborhood. So here's the video. So when that happened, the only thing I can see in the backyard is a tall creature, probably around 8-10 feet tall, very thin. So I call my dad.
Okay, so when that happened, there's a bang, and then you see a tall creature. There's a missing span of time where I would think if something fell that fast, crashed into the ground, you know how crashes work, they would have to be getting out of this craft. There would have to be some sort of doors opening or whatever if this is an alien, but it's like, boom, there's a crash, then he sees a body standing there. There's the in-between is what I feel like we're missing here. Maybe he just got nervous and left that out.
He went to the backyard and he saw the same thing, the same creature I saw. He told me to go inside the house. At this point, we all freaking out.
So he's in the backyard and he calls his dad. I'm assuming he means he screamed for his dad. And I'm wondering why he didn't run away. Most teenagers see something like that, they're going to run away. But maybe he's really brave. He didn't run away.
Me and my family. And here's the video where we were in the backyard area. You cannot see it too good, but on camera, but it's there. Here's a
Okay,
video.
there's literally nothing in this video. You can slow it down as much as you want. There's nothing there. It's just a dark area. Nothing at all.
Moments after the video, me and my brother went to go pick up my tools. Then my brother calls me, and he told me shakingly, "Look behind the forklift." So I look. Keep in mind I'm facing the forklift, and then I see the alien creature. So when I saw it, it was a tall, skinny, lengthy creature. He was a gray, greenish color, and when I looked at it in the eyes, my body just froze. Like the same experience as having sleep paralysis. Keep in mind I'm staring at him, and I look at his whole body, and he has a weird looking feet and a big face and eyes, and you can see a big mouth. And I could hear his loud, deep breathing, and I could see his stomach moving. He would just stare at me. Seconds later, I could start moving again. And I start running towards the house. That's when I call 911, and here's the 911 call.
So like a sleep paralysis feeling, which sleep paralysis, for those of you who are unfamiliar with that, it's more, people say it's like a demonic feeling. It feels like you're under some spiritual attack when you have those. I've personally had those many times, but it feels dark, and it's like a scary feeling, kind of like a fear, like a spirit of fear almost latches onto you when these things happen. And so he said that's what he felt. He felt that sleep paralysis type of feeling when this thing was looking at him, which would make sense if there was a demonic creature right there. And so the ancient aliens returning, allegedly, what they're probably going to pan this out to be really soon. They've got all this disclosure coming, like the guy in the news said, the one that said they've been planning this for quite some time. So let's see what the rest of the story sounds like.
There's like an 8-foot person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and looking at us, and it's still there.
Okay, where is this on your property?
In my backyard. I swear to God, this is not a joke. This is actually, we're terrified of it.
So there's two people or two subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes, like I can't explain it, and big mouth. They're shiny eyes, and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the police to come, and you could hear footsteps in the backyard area, and a loud whispering, like you could hear whisperings. We were in the living room area, and you could hear footsteps on the roof. So we waited a little bit for the police. When they arrived, I told them what I saw, and they were kind of freaked out. Here's the body cam of the officer.
Okay, so you don't really see anything here for the rest of the clip. They're just going through, and you have people talking about what they saw. So footsteps on the roof, whispering in the backyard. Really creepy demonic stuff. I'm not saying the kid's a liar. It does seem weird that it's like there was a loud boom, and then he saw something, and there was thousands of footsteps. And to me, that sounds less like an alien stepping out of a mothership and more like demonic activity. And so the kid could be telling the truth. It just seems weird that there was that little hole in the story where from the time that there was the crash to the time they saw those things, it almost seemed to be instantaneous in his story. So interesting, to say the least. But we can see where this stuff is going. They are playing it out. I don't know what the next step's going to be. I'm sure it's some sort of disclosure, probably some footage of the crafts that they're allegedly finding, that the whistleblowers are talking about. And so you'll see it on mainstream news first. These whistleblowers, these ones that are on our side, they're going to be putting this stuff out, of course, and reaching out to Fox News or something. And if this stuff was against their agenda, it would not be on the mainstream news. It would not be trending. But these people, these news organizations, they're desperate to get into the news. I mean, they're flocking to apps like TikTok and going live on there because no one's watching their stuff. And so when stuff like this happens and it goes with the agenda, yeah, they're going to push this stuff like crazy. And so that's what they're doing. We're getting really close to that third day, like we've talked about, which is also the seventh day if you look at the time scale from creation. So they know their time is running out. Okay, so we're getting very close to the millennial reign. And so as these days get closer to where they know their time's running out, they're going to do these things. It's their plan. It could get stopped right in the middle of it. They don't know. That's why things like the Antarctic Treaty expire in the 2040s. I can't remember the exact year. It's been a long time since I researched that, but this stuff is relevant. Your friends who are buying this alien stuff need to research this. You need to watch the final card. My brother put it together. He put a lot of time in it because it goes through everything. Who's lying to us, how this stuff ties into the ancient alien agenda, the founding of NASA, who were the founders, what were they doing, why did we have a UFO era, why were all of these abductions happening when they were happening. It's important to understand that it was demonic. They were doing demonic things. They were doing rituals, and that's when technology exploded. They were getting the wisdom of the fallen back. They were making these things that before them we couldn't make, even though we can kind of see that there was some extreme high-tech things in the past when we look at ancient structures because of that wisdom of the fallen. But this stuff has exploded again, and it's all biblical. We are in biblical times, and people act like, the biblical times are over. No, we are still in biblical times. The Father is still doing the miracles just like he did with his beloved Son, and like he told us, even greater miracles are going to be happening. So look out for those. There's going to be an attack when those things are happening to the true believers, the ones that have trust in the Father. People are going to start, trying to make it look like they're false prophets and that these ancient aliens are really the ones we need to be worshiping with their lying signs and wonders, just like when Moses laid down his staff, or I think Aaron laid down Moses' staff, and it turned into the serpent, and Pharaoh had his magicians. It's going to be like that. You're going to see, miracles trying to match what the Father's doing. They're always trying to mimic what the Father does. That's why they have high priests and all of the things that they have and sacrifices. They want to be like that. Okay. So they want to do it in spite of the Father. They're against the Creator. They're going to try to become like the Creator. And so that's why we live on a system. We grew up thinking we lived on a system that was not at the center of creation, where heliocentric, the sun god Helios was at the center of their model. And so it all is tied together with the truth about creation, what we live on, how provable it is that we live on that. There's a reason NASA documents say, the world or the Earth can be assumed to be flat and not rotating. Imagine if we were told it was flat our whole lives and they were lying to us about that, and we found documents that said we can assume that it's curved and moving. I would be like going, oh my goodness, I think we live on a ball and they're hiding it from us. However, when it's the other way around, people are like, no, it's okay. We can just assume that it's flat and non-rotating and never factor in curve, never factor in movement because of something Einstein said. Like they have to have these theories and these wild ideas that catch on and are repeated over and over to make these lies pan out. And so I wanted to share this with you guys who are not in the loop. I don't want to make this an extremely long video. We've got some more exciting things to talk about, of course, opportunities to meet as we go across the country to California. There's a few of them. I will leave that stuff in the description as well, right below my brother's final card video. You need to watch it if you haven't. A lot of people say it's the best video out there on our channel because I didn't make it. My brother did. And he spent, I'm talking 3 months straight or so working on this thing. And he put a lot of effort into it, and it'll show. And he wants to kind of redo it and make it a higher quality version, and kind of like the Hibbler Productions where they make it look like you could put it on Netflix or something. But we got all that. We also have the movie premiere coming up July 31st. You want to get information for that, let me know. It's in North Carolina and Brevard, I believe, Brevard, North Carolina. We'll be there signing autographs with the rest of the celebrities that were in the film. David Weiss, my brother, my wife, my baby boy. We actually had his little debut in the film. So we have some really cool people there in the film. Matthew Beavers is in the film. Lots of people that you guys may know, some that I'm not even familiar with. So really awesome chance to fellowship with believers and make it a weekend getaway. I think it's on a Monday. I could be wrong. I think that July 31st I think it's either a Monday or a Tuesday, but that's going to be a lot of fun. and hopefully get to sit back and watch a movie. I'll be missing one of my first days of work, and they have us coming back, and I just got a new job. I'll be teaching life science to 7th grade, and I'm excited because this will help me develop the curriculum for that age group, and that's what I'm wanting to do, is help, do the homeschool stuff. I'll be giving an update about that. As soon as I stop this video, I'll make that one to send out to all the people on that list and let you guys see it as well, whoever's interested. I'm wanting to focus on creating stuff for homeschool believers. There's a big need for creation, curriculum, content, and standards, and that's where the creation standards come in. We're going to gear them to give glory to the Father and prove all things with this scientific method that is better than just coming up with random theories to fill in the gaps where we have no answers. We're going to give all glory to the Creator for his intelligent design. And I want to focus on the life sciences first and the evolution and make this for everybody. And then we'll eventually add on the biblical earth creation classes as well. But I want this to be for everybody because I know there's some creationists out there who aren't quite ready for the immovable world that the Bible speaks of. And I want no one to be left out and bring everybody together in this family in these last days, because we are right there. And the enemies know it. That's why they're ramping it up and pushing all this stuff out there, trying to get you to hate homosexuals who were sinners just like we were. And when somebody, ministered to us or reached out to us, showed us the Father's love, or maybe you just experienced it by accident like I did, or by design, it wasn't really an accident. Everything happens for a reason, but they're just sinners, okay? Reach out to them, okay? They are sinners like I said, like you and I were. They struggle with something different. And so when you can't relate to that, it's easier to go on the offense and attack them. They're not the ones pushing out all the rainbow stuff. This is higher up, and they're trying to make it look like an us versus them, and they're pushing it on our kids. No, most of your friends that who struggle with this sin, they're not doing this. They might buy into it, but this stuff is from the top down. Companies aren't going, losing billions of dollars because they want to. This stuff goes above these companies. It goes above Ford and Target and Bud Light. Like, it goes up to the top, to like BlackRock, if I could even say that. I may want to censor that out. But those people are the ones making them do that. They have this agenda they're pushing out, and so they'll force it. It's okay. They feel like to do that because they have to. They're operating with these powers of darkness, and these powers of darkness know how to do these things. They've been doing it for a lot longer than you and I have been around. So stay vigilant, pray, stay ready, keep on that full armor, stay humble. Like I just said, we had a meetup yesterday, and it was awesome getting to see everyone there, the awesome people, the humble people, and reminding each other that the humble are the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. He didn't say the one who has the most knowledge of everything is the greatest. No, he said those that are humble like a child that's going to listen to their father, a child that's going to look up to their father for every next step before they cross the road, before they do anything. They're asking, what am I supposed to do? Where do you want me to go? Thy will be done, just like the beloved Son told us to pray. So do that. Use the beloved Son as an example. It's not going to make you popular. It's not going to make people love you. Remember, they wanted him dead because he was doing the Father's will, which was literally just healing people and going around sharing love and talking to sinners and the things that we're supposed to do. And they wanted to kill him. These powers of darkness will want to do that. This is spiritual, and the world's not going to like you when you start walking like him. So just be warned, but also be blessed when you start walking that way, because it's going to set you free. But anyways, I love you guys. The Father loves you, and we'll see you around very soon.